Hey everyone, welcome to my Dinar Daily channel. Parliamentary Finance reveals the objectives of revealing the federal budget. This happened today. I am told they expect the vote or third reading on this tomorrow. I am very optimistic on what is happening in Iraq this weekend and would not surprise me if they raise that value soon. How long will we have to exchange our 3-0 notes before they are rendered non-negotiable? When they phased out the old Sodom Swiss notes and put the new notes into circulation, everybody had 90 days to turn in their old Sodom notes and get the new ones. They used to have a 50 note up until 2012. They phased out 50 note and replaced it with the 50,000 note. When everybody had to turn in their old 50 note, they had 90 days as well. My opinion is that we're all going to have 90 days to turn in our notes, because that's how long they had historically from two different scenarios to turn them in. Former Deputy Governor of the Central Bank of Iraq stated years ago, Iraq has about $16 trillion worth of minerals in the ground, including oil. There is no way they could significantly RV the dinar with the amount of currency in circulation. Currently, about 100 trillion dinar. Only a gradual reduction of the currency as a result of the economic growth in diversification would make any sense. Not to mention, the world would not accept any arbitrary or random value. There is no in-county, out-of-country. Whenever Iraq makes a change on the currency exchange rate in country, it's going to affect everywhere around the world in regards to Iraqi dinar. There's not going to be some special group that you go to. Tier 1, Tier 2, there's no Reno visit. That's all bullshit. There is no redemption centers. When the time comes, we just take our dinar to the bank. We make the exchange. Nobody's going to get a special rate. One of the major banks, that's kind of international bank, that is over international redemption centers, is indicating that we could be notified prior to Monday. Now, if it doesn't happen and we see it on the 21st, which is Tuesday, then so be it. Keep hearing the Forex, and it's also coming from the CBI too. They're explaining how much more can be done on Forex. They are preparing to leave the border. Forex would be international, and like you want, the float. We still don't know. Possibility of transferring the dollar to trading platforms in the stock market to be sold to those entitled to it through direct transactions instead of sending the dollar exclusively to banks, stressing the need to organize these operations by switching to the Forex market. Wow. Did they just suggest using the trading platforms in the stock market? I.e Forex, you gotta love it. Music to my ears. Here is the one I am excited about. Instead of granting it exclusively to foreign banks' proposal to put the dollar on Tadal platforms, this should give you all warm and fuzzies. How foreign remittances work in banks, etc. This is what they are going to do. They are converting dollars to be sold on trading platforms and the stock market and switching to the Forex market. In order to take the next steps for them, it needs to be traded on platforms, just like the US dollar, British pound and other currencies are. That would mean they are on the fully international Forex, and most likely a much bigger value on the dinar. This is my favorite article of the morning. Moody's credit rating agency expected that the Middle East and North Africa countries would lead economic growth during the current year. Supported by the recovery of oil production and the progress of investment projects, the agency estimated that economic growth in the Middle East and North Africa region would accelerate to 2.9% in 2025, compared to estimates of about 2.1% for 2025. The acceleration was attributed to stronger growth among oil exporting countries in the region. As a result of the partial decline in oil production cuts under the OPEC Plus agreement, and non-oil investments as part of efforts to diversify the economy will support economic growth. According to a report reviewed by Al Arabiya Business, real GDP growth in the region's oil exporting countries is expected to rise to 3.5% in 2025, compared to an estimate of 1.9% for 2025, as increased oil production contributes to raising the overall growth rate by about 0.5% this year. This is due to Iraq, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Kuwait, and Oman starting to abandon some of the oil production cuts implemented in 2023, and will also reflect higher production in the UAE as a result of the agreed increase in the country's core quota under OPEC+, which will be gradually implemented during 2025. During 2023 and 2024, oil production cuts reduced growth in oil exporting countries by more than 3% during both years. Challenges of increasing production. But Moody's noted that there are challenges facing increased oil production due to slower demand growth among major importers, especially China, and increased oil production outside OPEC+, especially in the United States. Non-oil economy. The agency expected that non-oil economic activity would remain strong in the Middle East and North Africa region, supported by favorable winds from structural reforms and large-scale investment projects, including government initiatives for economic diversification. The agency confirmed that if Iraq maintains stable security conditions, non-oil sector growth will remain above pre-pandemic averages due to the gradual implementation of several transport and energy projects, including the $17 billion Iraqi Development Road Project, equivalent to 6.5% of GDP, which is a network of railways, roads, and ports linking Asia and Europe. Saudi Arabia. The impact of large investments is most evident in Saudi Arabia, where government spending and sovereign wealth fund spending linked to the Vision 2030 diversification program will continue into 2026, she said. In Qatar, growth will be supported by the development of the petrochemical industry and construction activities related to the expansion of LNG production capacity, scheduled to come on stream between 2026 and 2030. The CBI can adjust when ready. They're independent since their law from 2004. The gatekeepers, IMF, BISAS, want data-driven moves. They don't want shocks. Digital technology like programmable Dinar allows for fast and furious market emotion to build demand positively upon adjustment. The CBI has officially reduced the currency count in Iraq by 5% in an effort to curb inflation and increase the value of the remaining currency. More than likely, this is how and why the PM has reportedly stated that the value of the currency, currently at 1320, will not remain. All roads do not lead to the RV. There are many ways to add value purchasing power to the RDR. Besides a hard RV. It's a good idea to keep that in mind while you ride the roller coaster. Aside for the political noise, they're still doing what they're doing. Follow the money. Follow the largest financial institutions in the world. That's where you should be. Thank you for watching.